This right here is a 2017 Hyundai Elantra, and as you can see, it has been wrecked in the back pretty bad, but I'm gonna fix it and flip it and hopefully make a very big profit on it. This Hyundai Elantra is the limited edition. In 2017, this was the top tier trim level. It has leather seating, a touchscreen radio, all the upgrades on this car that you can get, this thing has. All around, this is a very nice vehicle, and once it's fixed up, I think it's gonna look very sharp. Let's talk about price points and how much I paid for this car. I paid $3,000 for this vehicle as is. When I checked the comps around me, they're going between $75,000 to $8,000, all the way up to $9,000 for this trim level and this amount of miles it has on it. Now, when you're selling wrecked cars, it is pretty grimy if you ask for top dollar, so I am not planning on doing that. When I go about selling these vehicles, I make sure the new owner knows the amount of work I put into it, everything I've done to it, and the history of the vehicle. That way I'm not scamming anyone out of anything, and I make sure people know what they're buying. I fix these cars to the best of my ability, and I have full trust in them. Let me give you a walk around and an overview of this whole car and see what needs fixed and what needs replaced and what we need to focus on mainly. On the front end of the car, it doesn't look too bad. Obviously, the front bumper has been damaged. You can see some cracks in the front bumper cover, along with the grille being smashed in a little bit. Headlights are a little dull, nothing that we can't buff out and fix. This front bumper could be fixed, but right here where it mounts onto the fender, all the mounting points have been ripped off. So this is a very hard thing to fix, and the right thing to do is just replace this whole bumper. See right here with this pile of glue, it looks like whoever fixed this thing before just put a ton of glue or caulking and slapped it back on the fender. They did not fix it the proper way, but I definitely will. Who's a good boy? That's pretty much all the damage on the front end. The fender looks a little bit misaligned, and if you open the hood, you can see this fender is actually not original to the car. So this fender has been replaced before, but the paint looks in pretty good condition. I just need to align the fender a little bit better. Walking around the driver's side of the car, there is nothing wrong with this side. Nothing wrong. But once you get towards the back, you can see a little bit more of the damage. There looks to be a little bit of a dent right here in this quarter panel. I think I can pop that back out, or maybe when I pull out this trunk, that might fix itself. Now moving up the passenger side, it is in the same condition. All this stuff looks to be in good shape. I don't see any dings or dents or anything on the side until you get to the quarter panel. Quarter panel will definitely need replaced. If you are really good at doing body work, you might be able to pull that back out and fix it. But I do not think I have the capability to fix that, nor would I really want to, because it would need a lot of body filler, a lot of body work, a lot of time putting into fixing that, and it's not really the correct thing to do. So definitely going to be replacing this corner panel, and we'll splice it in right where you need to. Splicing in a quarter panel on these sedan vehicles means you have to remove this rear glass. Luckily, it did not get cracked or broken in the wreck, but I will have to remove this to replace this quarter panel. Now it's time to focus on the main damage. This looks really bad, but believe me when I say it's not terrible. Looks can be deceiving. This looks really bad, but it did miss a lot of the main structural parts. This right here is the impact bar, and it missed it. It hit right above there and just pushed in all this really thin metal. All this will be able to pull back and replaced pretty easily. I'm really confident this will be very easy to fix. These door gaps are still in perfect shape. So as for back here, we need a new quarter panel, trunk support, I'm not really sure what it's called. Need that, and obviously need a new trunk, and probably some new hinges, because I'm sure these got bent. As long as it still drives perfectly straight down the road, I think we're good. Now moving on to the inside, it all looks really good in there. Except for the doors close automatically. This is the limited edition, so that means it has all the upgrades. It has nice leather seating, a touchscreen radio, climate control, pretty much all the amenities you need in the car. For a 2017, this was like the high-end model. As you can see, there's no airbags blown. All the seat belts are in working shape. Only thing in the inside it needs is a nice cleaning, and it should be good to go. When buying used vehicles, you do take a big risk. Luckily in my case, this was a one-owner vehicle. The previous owner was able to walk me through its whole history. Went into the dealership for all the maintenance. This thing was very well taken care of until its wreck. And they actually told me about how it got wrecked. Unfortunately, someone rear-ended her and ended up taking off. That person who rear-ended them ended up getting caught, and they did not have any insurance. So they unfortunately had to take a full loss since their insurance didn't cover uninsured vehicle. So this should be a little tip for you guys. Make sure you have that insurance. I ended up buying it from them and hopefully be able to fix it and resell it for a profit. Let me break through all the parts I have and how much it cost. Over the past few weeks, I've been collecting all the parts needed. Start off with, I got a quarter panel along with the whole rear end assembly. I got this from a pick and pull junkyard. This took me a few hours to get out of the junkyard with just a couple batteries and a Sawzall. And while I was actually removing this, I was pulling it off, had the last little bit of metal to cut off, and unfortunately it bounced back and sliced my hand open, and I actually had to get 5 stitches in my hand. It was kind of a freak accident. It really popped off the car and launched back at me. I didn't expect it to happen. My hand wasn't in anything super sharp. It was actually in this piece right here, which is, it's a little sharp. It ended up slicing all my fingers and getting my middle finger and my pointer finger really deep. So I had to get some stitches in that. It is almost fully healed and ready to go now. If you're in a junkyard, make sure you wear gloves. I'm gonna learn that lesson now. I paid $136 for that, plus a couple other little parts I needed off that car. Unfortunately, this is the only pieces I was able to get off that junkyard car because everything else was already taken. Moving on to some of the other parts I got, this is a full brand new rear bumper with the reflector lights at the bottom. I paid $160 for that, brand new, pretty good deal. Moving over to the trunk, that is complete. It has everything I need. It has the new lights, new backup camera. All this came complete with it. That was $280. These hinges I got at the junkyard, so that's already added into the price of the quarter panel. And this right here is a brand new front bumper along with a new grille. That right there complete was $150. And lastly, I needed some new tail lights, and that was $101. So that brings my total right now to $3,827. Overall, this is a very good starting point. I think I got these parts for a really good deal. I'm definitely keeping the price on this very low. I wanted to give you guys a full breakdown of everything I know about this car. And if you guys have any information on these vehicles, make sure to comment them down below. That way I'm learning and everyone else watching is also learning. Now that I've gotten all that information broken down, I can go ahead and pull this into the garage, hook up my frame machine, and get that rear end pulled out as much as I can. One thing I still really need to get for this car is a battery. Luckily, I have just the thing to get me by. This right here is my Amp Bank AB4000 jump starter. I keep one of these in my car at all times. You never know when you actually need this, and I do not want to be stranded out on the road with a dead battery. I actually have a couple different jump starters, and none of them were able to jump off this car. So hopefully this one actually has the juice to be able to power this thing on. All you do is make sure this thing has full charge. It comes with the charger included. Also, if you hold down the power button, you get a flashlight. Check it out. Take the cable in piece and plug it into the port. Hook it up, negative to negative, positive to positive. If you look right here, got a green light. Should be ready to go. The car also came with 2 keys. How nice is that? Start it right up. Easy as that. With Father's Day coming up, this is a really good gift. Or if you don't have one of these for your car, I would definitely recommend getting one. The link for this is in my description. You can check it out there. Let's pull this thing into the garage. This thing got wrecked back in February or March, I believe, and it's been outside, so hopefully there's not too much water in the back here. It doesn't smell like there is, but we need to make sure we take all this out and clean it thoroughly. This right here is my Vevor frame machine. I've only been able to use this a few times. It actually works very well. I don't think this thing is gonna have any problem pulling this out. All mounted up, ready to go. Figure just start pulling right here. Seems good to me. Always make sure you're standing away from where it's pulling. If something breaks and starts flying that way, you don't want to get hit. Remember this dent right here? It's kind of already fixed. Look at that. Like brand new. Got a wasp nest right here. It's looking really good though. I'm pulling it out enough to be able to get in there and cut off all the parts that I need to. And with it all folded in on each other, that just makes it a lot more difficult. So Pull a little bit more up here, maybe a little bit more down here, and then it should be good to start cutting off. Not too bad. It's a little mangled, but all this is gonna be cut out and replaced, so not that big of a deal. Not too much water. Expect a lot more. One thing I noticed I'm gonna have to replace is this. This is actually a sensor that tells you when someone's next to you. The quarter panel I bought did not come with a new one, so I'm gonna have to find that part and replace it. I have seen videos of people replacing these, and it's a little bit tricky because if it's not aligned 100%, you're gonna throw codes and it's gonna cause issues. So we need to find this new part, hopefully not too expensive, replace it, make sure it's lined up perfect. This right here is a mini belt sander, and it's gonna cut through these spot welds so fast. This car hates me. Looks to be lining up pretty good. I'm gonna have to cut this down a little bit, line it up right. Same thing down here. And I also need to pull it off, get it all prepped and ready to be welded. Clean off all that old seam sealer, prep all the holes for spot welding. You can see right here, I kind of messed up this new panel. Behind this is some panel bond, and that stuff is just really hard to get off without damaging your panel. I'm gonna try to clean this up as well as I can. I'm gonna have to add some body filler, but we'll get that looking really good before we paint. This taillight came broken, so I'm gonna have to replace that. But everything else is lining up pretty good. These are aftermarket taillights, so they're not absolutely perfect. Yeah, it's even cracked right there too. And this side, the gap looks really good. It's just the taillight's not really lining up right. I think it's just these aftermarket taillights. Maybe I can try to find some OEM ones. Body gaps look good all the way around. Now we can take this thing completely back apart, put some panel bond right behind this, and then we can start welding it on. Inside done, outside done, not perfect, but it seems sealed. No water's getting in or out. I'm not the kind of person to bash anyone or talk negatively about them, but I do want to talk about this previous repair and make sure no one gets ripped off, kind of like these guys did. The previous owner told me it got in a small fender bender, and it went through insurance and got the front bumper fixed along with that fender and probably the hood, since the hood has also been repainted. Whatever shop they ended up taking it to really, to put it bluntly, screwed them over, because this is not proper. Looks like they just pulled this back out and didn't replace it. This is just held on by 4 or 5 bolts and easily replaceable. And this is a major thing that protects you in a crash. So to pull it back out and not replace it is very shady, to say the least. Not to mention this fender is aftermarket, which isn't that big of a deal, but still, if they charge them for OEM and bought a cheap aftermarket one, also a shady thing to do. And don't even get me started on this bumper. This is the original bumper that they glued together in multiple different spots. All this right here has been glued together, and this fog light or turn signal just completely glued on. They didn't fix it, they didn't do anything right. I don't know how you can call yourself a body shop and do this and send it on its way. This is absolutely unacceptable and pretty embarrassing. And the fact they went through insurance and that's the quality of work they put out, I really just don't know the right words to say. It's crazy that you can't trust anyone. Make sure if you guys get in a little wreck or a fender bender and insurance fix it, walk over it before it gets approved. Make sure you see all the receipts and everything they replaced, and make sure it lines up with what they said they replaced and fixed. Because you don't want anything like this. This is dangerous. This might have actually happened in the wreck because it got pushed forward into another car. But considering the rust on it and the fact that the bumper was held on by a bunch of random screws, not any of the proper hardware at all, you can probably guess that's from the original accident and not this new one. I'm gonna clean this up and replace everything I need to fix, and maybe take these headlights out and clean those up too. Primer's all laid down. Looks good. The black primer that they say it is not really primer. And you really shouldn't put your base coat over that, so make sure you put new primer down. I'm ready to lay down some paint. Obviously I can't paint it all in one go because there's multiple things I have to paint. Also, my shop is not big enough to paint everything, so I'm gonna do it in sections. I'm gonna paint these bumpers in one go off the car. I just think it's gonna be easier that way. And then over here on the car itself, I'm gonna paint this back section that's covered by the bumper, along with up here and inside this door jamb. I'm gonna blend this out and then hopefully buff out the clear coat where I blend it. That's all ready to paint, and as for the paint, I got Eastwood's color matching OEM paint. Eastwood has been mixing OEM paint for a while now, and it's doing so well now that they actually opened up another plant to be able to mix more paint. I was able to get this delivered to me in just a couple days. They're super fast on shipping, and I love the quality of this paint. It lays down super flat. It is also the closest color matching paint I've ever used. They come in these regular cans, or you can actually get it in a spray paint can. If you just have a little fender or a bumper to paint, you can just get it in the spray paint and go that way. Got 2 cans of paint right there, and also a whole thing of reducer. Let's go ahead and get some paint laid. 2 coats on. Ready for clear. And that right there is a really good stopping point for this episode. I went ahead and bought a new battery, got that taken out and reinstalled, and now starts up and moves on its own. It helps a lot being able to move this thing in and out of the garage. That way I can clean it, clean the car, and clean the garage very well before a paint job. Prevent dirt and bugs and anything from getting in the paint. It is a garage paint job, so it's not gonna be perfect, but these parts that I already painted turned out really awesome. Very minimal dust. I don't think anyone's gonna notice any problem with them, especially if I end up cutting and buffing all those parts. As for the color of the paint, I think is a very close match. I put the front bumper on just to see how it pairs with the fenders and the hood lining up, and it looks really good. The color is as close as you can get. Also on that back door to quarter panel transition, where I'm gonna have to paint that whole quarter panel, it looks to be just about perfect. That's gonna help tremendously with painting this thing. I won't have to completely disassemble this whole car. Just a couple little blend panels and this thing's gonna look tip top. There's also a problem on this car with the AC. It is not wanting to blow cold air. I haven't looked into it too much. I'm not sure if the compressor's kicking on. I know if it has a low charge, the compressor will not kick on. That's something we need to look into. Hopefully we don't have to replace that whole compressor, because that will eat into our profit and also be kind of a pain to replace. It has been sitting for a few months, so hopefully that's an easy fix. Also, I'm waiting for a few more parts to show up to complete this front bumper, get all that put back together. Just a lot of little things I'm waiting for, and painting the rest of this is gonna take at least 4 or 5 more days. So stay tuned for the next episode on this thing. We're gonna be finishing up and hopefully selling it, and I will fully break down everything I have into it, how much I have into it, how many hours of work I have into it, and how much profit I make on this. See if it was worth it, see if I can learn anything and make it better on the next time. I've also been getting emails about opening a P.O Box so you guys can send me letters and other stuff. I don't know what you want to send me, but I opened one because I do not want to give out my address. I already have people kind of showing up randomly, so I'm going to open up a P.O Box. If you guys want to send me anything, I'm not asking for anything, but I think it'd be really cool to see pictures of your cars, especially Volkswagens or anything like that. I just think that'd be really cool to have a section in my garage just dedicated to letters and pictures that you guys send. Definitely not a requirement. I just opened one because people were asking about it. And I just want to give you guys a big thank you to watching my channel and following along with my build, helping me learn and grow my knowledge. I just really appreciate you all so much. And any way I can thank you, I'm going to do that. I also have an Instagram. I post a lot behind the scenes on what's coming up that week, new projects I have. Also just get more involved with my subscribers and just the people watching me in my community. Check me out there if you want to. Also my email if you need to email me for anything. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye.